Hey folks, so I thought about doing a get ready with me for today's video, but then I started doing my makeup and I got into the zone and I was like, I need to just finish my makeup so I can like get my thoughts out a little bit more coherently when it comes to me ranting, because sometimes doing my makeup helps, sometimes it doesn't help very much. But today we're gonna be talking about AI, and I hate it. I've had this bone to pick for a very long time. I remember back when like Teslas first became a thing, I didn't like the idea of like self-driving cars and like AI driven cars. I'm like, no, I don't want to take the power away from the person behind the wheel. Stop it. So I've always kind of been very skeptical of AI in general. When YouTube started using AI as a way to filter through comments and to filter through videos to flag things for demonetization, it was very messy for a long time because there was just so much content uploaded all at once that people couldn't keep up with it. So AI has always had a very rough and rocky kind of view in my perspective. And over the last year, AI creative content has blown up to the point where it's like kind of dystopian at times. It started out with like deepfakes, then it got to the point where people could deepfake voices, they were making deepfake porn of celebrities, of influencers. Deepfake stuff was getting to that point where it was very, very uncanny. And that was something that it wasn't nearly as seamless as some of the stuff now. And it didn't also have the same sort of questionable source material, the way that some of these AI tools are happening right now. And particularly I wanted to talk about this today because there's been two different online things that I've seen, events, I guess, happenings that I have commented on. I talked about this a lot on Twitter the other day, but Corridor Digital is a VFX house, production studio, and they have multiple channels here on YouTube. They have been really, really well known for a lot of their shorts and for their series, VFX Artists React, where they have sometimes guests come on and they analyze and they talk about VFX, good VFX, bad VFX, animation, stunt work. They analyze all this stuff and they look at it from a really interesting perspective. And I've always really liked that series. And so recently, they did a video on their main channel, their Corridor Digital channel, and then like a more behind the scenes thing on the Corridor Crew channel. But it was them using a bunch of AI tools to create their own version of anime. And they've been kind of playing around with AI stuff for the last couple of months on their channel, and it was getting to the point where people were kind of like questioning that, like, why are we using all of these other source material? We're still kind of like stealing art. And there's been that whole conversation about stolen art when it comes to AI, and a lot of people have talked about it. I'll link things below, back when people were downloading that Lensa app, and a lot of those individual AI tools where they could like upload photos of themselves and then get this like beautifully drawn art piece that was made by a computer, stealing from other people's art styles and etc. But what Corridor did was they filmed a bunch of footage, like in kind of more over-the-top anime style. They did a bunch of freaking tech stuff on the computer, a bunch of software stuff, and I don't know all the specifics of it because I saw it and it pissed me off, so I wasn't paying attention. And also, like, I'm never gonna do something like this, so I don't really need to know. But they took all this footage and they essentially, like, did some fancy rotoscoping. They borrowed a bunch of footage from a very iconic anime and basically stole the art style and attempted, using all this code and software, to take the footage that they shot live action and turn it into this animated thing. They did some compositing, a lot of rotoscoping, some compositing, some stuff themselves. They built stuff with Unreal Engine. They did a ton of things. I'm not saying it didn't take a lot of work to do what they did, but a lot of people were alarmed by it and alarmed by the rhetoric that they were sharing in the video, talking about how this will help democratize animation, essentially like decrease the barrier of entry into making animated films, which the barrier of entry is that you just learn how to draw. I mean, I didn't think that the barrier of entry to like drawing things was that difficult. You just have to like learn and teach yourself and practice with any skill. So a lot of people, including myself, were kind of off-put by this idea that, oh, this will like cut out the middleman being the animators, the middleman being the people who are notoriously underpaid for their work and put into so much crunch time. Like, the middleman, and they basically doubled down on it. A lot of people were leaving comments. They were liking a bunch of like kind of shady tweets about it. And it just seemed to me that they're kind of like are not really seeing the concern coming from animators, not only because of essentially jacking an art style and making something that is like objectively worse, but also the idea that they are skipping the animation part of it. Skipping the part that makes animation so cool, which is the human interpretation of like movement, you know? With filming, you can only do so much. You can't make a lot of things that happen in anime happen in real life. That's the beauty of animation, is that you can draw whatever the hell you want. You are not beholden to a computer. You are not beholden to gravity. You are not beholden to inertia, to biology. Like, anything can happen. You can make anything with animation. So for them to talk about, oh, now we can do all this stuff with animation, I was like, no, you can do more with animation. What you guys are just being is too lazy to teach yourself how to animate, or hire somebody and pay them to be an animator. So that whole thing pissed me the hell off because I was a fan. And I would have hoped that maybe they would see people's concerns coming from actual animators in the industry, as well as fans who are concerned and don't really like the direction that they're going. They actually tried to make NFTs back when NFTs were first popping off, and a lot of people were like, hey, no. And they listened. They listened, and they pretty much dialed back any talk of NFTs. They stopped what they were doing with NFTs, and, you know, they realized the error of their ways, and that would have been great if they had done this for this too. But I don't think that that's what's going to happen, because there's this like this level of self-righteousness that's happening, at least from those guys right now, where it's like, have we revolutionized animation forever? No, you haven't, because the beauty of animation is that you can do whatever you want because you can draw it. Whatever you can draw, you can do. And they're just too lazy to draw. And revolutionizing animation, it's like, it's just you guys. And also the end product, if you looked at it from far away, it looked fine, but up close, like if you looked at frame by frame and like just the more you watch it, you're like, this is really not good. Like, it's not great. Like, the best part of it is the stuff that they built in Unreal Engine. Like, the best part is the backgrounds and the stuff that they added, but the stuff that they used this sketchy tool, this computer to make, doesn't even look that great. So I know that there was a lot of mixed opinions. There were a lot of comments back and forth of people being like, this is awesome, this is so cool. And then a lot of people who were like, wow, this is scary. Like, I don't like this. And also it doesn't even look that good. Like, I've seen a handful of responses from animators and anime fans too. There's been a handful of, they pissed off the anime community too, which you don't want to mess around with, okay? So that was the first of the AI transgressions that got into my head. And the part that really pisses me off too is that the way that Nico talked about this, about he was coming from this place of this naivety that the right people are going to use these tools for the right things. Because there are plenty of AI tools that can help animators, that can help with, like, if you're stuck on something or if you need to create something quickly that you can trace over. Like there's definitely tools that are useful to animators and to illustrators. Absolutely. I don't know all those tools specifically, but I have seen some responses from people that, like, there are things that they can use, but what Corridor did is not that. And the problem with technology like this, with the same thing with deepfakes, the same thing with the AI art, is that, like, oh, maybe if you just have good people have that technology, they're not going to do bad stuff with it. But the problem is, if you make this software and you make this technology available to everyone, you're going to put it in the hands of the worst people, and they're going to make deepfake porn. That's what happened. That is literally what happened, is that you gave the technology to the worst people, and they used it like the worst people use it, exploiting people. So the slope was slippery, and we have slipped. Deepfakes, AI art, AI animation. Now, I saw something on Twitter a couple of days ago. Let me find the account. If he hasn't blocked me yet, I really would have hoped he had, because, I don't know, I would have felt a little bit of pride in knowing that I got this rando person on Twitter blocked. Nope, I am not blocked. Cool. This guy, I don't fucking know who he is. Really? He's an indiepreneur building AI startups in public. He started this company, Deep Agency. This guy's named Danny Postma. He created a software. And I went on about this on Twitter. I'll have the tweets up on the screen. After months of work, it's finally here. Deep Agency, AI photo studio and modeling agency. Full explanation in the next few tweets. I'm just going to read these. What is Deep Agency? It's a photo studio with a few differences. No camera, no real people, no physical location. First of all, then that's not a fucking photo studio, just saying. Everything we do is 100% AI generated. Latest text-to-image models for photo generation, AI models, including a copy of you, accessible anywhere in the world at any time. Pick a model, choose the pose and description, unleash the AI power, get high-quality photos. Here are some outputs of our fake model, Aileen. Digitizing yourself is super easy. Upload 20 selfies and let our AI do its magic. 30 minutes later, and your virtual twin is ready. Also, these all look goofy as hell. Like, the pictures that this guy spit out of himself, they look so stupid. None of these look good. They all have nightmare fuel and some weird Cronenberg-esque, no. What's this good for? Tons of things. Automating content for social media influencers? That's fucking creepy. Models for marketeers ads, fake advertising, e-commerce product photography, and more. That's also false advertising. If you have clothes that don't exist being put on models that don't exist, no. Deep Agency is currently in open beta. Things will break. Well, I fucking hope so. Therefore, we're launching with a limited launch discount. Get full access to the tool for $29 a month. So this fucking tech entrepreneur took all this really sketchy technology that's already been made public and has marketed and has created a paid tool that you have to pay a monthly $29 a month to make weird, creepy, fake model photos that you can pick all these fake people to create fake photos that all look terrifying in some way or another. The photos that they chose for the ads and for the tweets, they were cropped very distinctly because some of them, when you see the full hands are always where you can tell if it's an AI photo. Hands are always where you can tell. If you're curious if something looks like it's not real, look at the hands. Are there 6 fingers? Is there a thumb that's like cut off and like put in another place? Probably. This put me into an absolute rage spiral because I'm not somebody who draws. Like, I was already angry for the animators and for the artists and furious for them as somebody who appreciates art and appreciates animation. Like, one of my favorite movies from the last fucking decade is Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, one of the most beautifully animated movies I've ever seen in my life. So I love movies and I love animation and I love cartoons. I love anime. I love all of these things that are being threatened by computers right now. But particularly right now, when I saw this, when I saw the slope had slipped to the point where we were trying to create lifelike people with these. Everything before now was creating artistic renditions of things, which was questionable, which was awful, but you could at least see it and be like, okay, that's not a real person, right? So the art theft was the tip of the iceberg. But now we're gonna try and pass off art theft as well as like some weird dystopian alternate reality where these people don't exist, but they're being made to look like they exist because they're trying to make real life people photos of real life models when they're not real. No photo studio, no people, no location, not a photo studio. If there's no camera, it's not a photo. If there's no people, it's not a portrait, okay? It's creepy. It's so creepy. Like, I went off on Twitter when I saw this. I responded to the tweet and I just said, this is objectively horrifying and awful. They all look like goofy, uncanny monsters and your stupid little tool will never make anything like what a real photographer can do. You tech devs need to find a new thing to try and fix because art isn't it. I was like, tech bros, please stop. For fuck's sake, stop. What is with all the tech bros and their AI I was really pissed. What is it with all the tech bros and their AI dick writing? Why do they want to completely remove the human element from art? Illustration, animation, photography, video, all of them need to shut the fuck up and listen to artists and not tech entrepreneurs who actually just steal art. I need to rant about this in a video, especially after Corridor's self-aggrandizing nonsense last week, and now I'm seeing AI modeling. I hate this so fucking much. Because the pompousness and the, again, self-aggrandizing, the like, oh, this is such a cool new tool. There are all these people in the comments too saying like, oh, this is awesome, these look great. Like, one guy used the tool, posted the photos of what he got back. It took like a day to get his photos back, and then in one of them, his finger is just like broken half, and then like the bottom part of the finger is here, and then the other part of the finger is like over here. And I'm like, how are you people thinking that this looks real in any way, shape, or form? Like, this is the kind of cognitive dissonance that happens, I think, when people will look at like Instagram models and they'll be like, oh my god, her body's so amazing. I'm like, that's not real. That's Facetune. I hate it. I hate it so much. All of this leads me back to the tech bro. And as somebody who has lived in the Pacific Northwest for my entire life, the Seattle and Seattle suburbs for 8 years now, I have met my fair share of tech bros. I've followed Teslas. I could count dozens of Teslas I see on a daily basis. Sometimes when people visit here, they're like, oh my god, there's so many Teslas. I'm like, I know, it's really fucking annoying. I hate robots. The only kind of robots I like are the ones from Star Wars. Like, give me Star Wars robots and that's it. I don't want robots making art. I don't want robots driving my car. I don't want robots trying to make realistic modeling photos when you can literally just fucking hire an artist, hire a photographer, hire an illustrator, hire an animator. What a concept. Hire people who make the art that you want to make, because that's been the resounding response I've seen from literally everybody, on Twitter at least, who isn't a tech bro. The only people who are into this are the other tech bros who are foaming at the mouth for like software speak. That's the only people who are into this. Fucking tech bros who only look at it from like
the innovation and entrepreneurial standpoint.
No, because notoriously, artists already, artists are so ridiculously underpaid, whether it is like illustrators, people who draw things. They are expected to draw things on the most measly budget. They are not nearly paid what they're worth. Animators are forced to redo things, to go through crunch periods when they work in major studios. It takes up so much time to do it. It's such a skill. Like, people who can animate things are so talented. It's mind-boggling. Seeing technology that could be used to actually like streamline mundane tasks, very mundane tasks, like checking YouTube comment sections for questionable content. That is something that an AI can do. Does this link look suspicious? I'm going to put this in the hidden comment section. Granted, it doesn't always work perfectly, but that is a good use of an AI technology. This computer is going to sort through the millions and millions of comments on YouTube because a person doesn't want to have to fucking do it. But when it comes to a creative endeavor, like animation, hand-drawn art, like video, like photography, just hire the artists. Just appreciate the artists. It's mind-boggling how people think that this is a good thing because of rhetoric like, oh, it streamlines the process and it's efficient and it democratizes the medium. All you're saying is that you don't want to have to pay an artist. And there's people who make art who deserve to get fucking paid, and not a computer or a little indiepreneur. Indiepreneur, is that what he called himself? A tech bro, okay? We're not making up words about entrepreneurs making stupid products, because that's most entrepreneurs, to be honest. And the fact that not only is he making this, but also making it paid is also suspicious. That was another thing that was very suspicious about Corridor's whole thing, is that they were talking about, oh, all these people have made this technology free to use and open source and open to use, and then we're gonna make you pay to understand how we used it to make this rip-off shitty anime.
Huh?
How? It's so hypocritical. It's so hypocritical talking about like, oh, democratizing the medium and making it available to anybody. Except, I don't know, when it comes to animating what they animated, maybe not every random person with a laptop in their room has this big old Puget Systems setup. Maybe everybody at home doesn't have a green screen stage that they can film all this cinematic stuff. People don't have the tools to be able to do what you were able to do. I don't know, the people at home are just learning how to draw. It was so frustrating. It was so frustrating seeing them talk about how learning how to draw and how learning to animate was such an impossible task. When it's like, you guys have learned how to do so many things with the VFX. This should just be the next step up. Or, like I said, fucking pay somebody to do it. You know? It really shouldn't be that hard to pay animators and pay people what they're worth, and pay artists and pay photographers, because holy shit, the pictures on this Postma's guy, this deep agency website, It is uncanny and it is creepy and none of them look good. Where did you get the source photos for these people? Because this had to come from a set of people. So what happens if somebody who ends up statistically looking like this AI version of something that you made, what is that gonna do? It's so weird. And another thing, because things are made by AI, because it's not made by a person, you can't even copyright it. Like, you can't even copyright the content. It's so dumb and I hate it. And I needed to rant about it because I ranted about it on Twitter and I just had to fucking say words on camera about it because I have not been more frustrated. Like, guys, photographers and animators and creative people are already so underpaid. The last thing we need is more computers competing with us. You know, like, computers streamlined photography and digital stuff. Digital photography streamlined the process and it made it so much more efficient. But that's still a thing that we're doing with our hands, using technology. We're not spitting a code into a computer and being like, hey, make some photos of these people that look generic and white. No, that's so creepy. Like, that's so creepy. I don't like it. I don't like it. I don't like it. I don't like it. It's very creepy. It's very off-putting. But anyway, that was all I wanted to talk about today. I just needed to rant. I needed to get it out of my system because I was very frustrated. For today's song of the day, let's see. What song? Oh, I know why I'm so hyped. It's because I drank a Gatorade. And there I go, drinking the rest of the Gatorade. Oh boy. Ooh. All right, let's see. What song? Paramore, Running Out of Time is your song of the day. I've been blasting this whole record nonstop. It's really good. I've been listening to We Are Scientists, Rebecca Black, and Paramore, and that's pretty much it. So listen to the whole album. But Running Out of Time is the first song, and it's so fun and dancey. Like, I love listening to it in the car on the way home. Ugh, it's so good. Listen to the song. Running Out of Time, Paramore. Let me know your comments in the comments below. Let me know your thoughts down below because I have not gotten this heated about a topic in a while, but I get very enraged on behalf of other people. And then when it came to the photographers, I was like, we knew we were gonna get here. We knew this was gonna happen. Like, this was the next step. It's so creepy. Thanks for watching, everyone. If you would like to follow me on any of my other social media, my Instagram and my Twitter are both Abers07, and then my TikTok and my Twitch are Abers without the 07. So if you want to come hang out with me on Twitch, I play video games, and most of the time it's just The Sims. But we have a good time there. And then I stream Thursdays, Saturdays, and Sundays. Maybe not this Saturday because my uncle and my sister and I might go see Cocaine Bear. So yeah, I don't know. Anyway, thanks for watching, everyone. Hope you have a good weekend, and I will see you all in my next video. Bye.